What if you could build a completely branded, optimized, and sales-driving website in one weekend without ever typing Shopify into the search bar? And what if that website could also allow you to grow your personal brand or business, but also expand what you sell by having physical products, digital products, subscription models, and your time all available for purchase under one roof? And what if that website further could actually integrate seamlessly with your favorite print-on-demand providers, so you could have all of your orders completed for you without the need for inventory? And what if every single Etsy listing that you have right now could be imported into this website within a few clicks? Trust me, I know this sounds like a pipe dream, and before now, that's exactly what it was: a hope, a vision, and a far-off dream, but not anymore. Because the Everbe team has spent the past 8 months or more building the first ever AI-powered creator commerce platform for you guys. And it is officially ready for you to achieve your business's wildest dreams. But it's not just about making your brand look more professional. It's about building a space that's yours, where you control the traffic, you keep 100% of the revenue, and where you can grow beyond algorithms, fees, and overcrowded marketplaces. Most sellers I've worked with over the past 3 years avoid building a website for themselves altogether. They think it's too expensive, too technical, or too time-consuming. And I thought the same thing until I tested out the product for myself and my own business. And I was able to build my entire website in less than 1 weekend using my new bestie, Everbe Store. So in this 2-part series, I'm going to be walking you guys through exactly how I did it so you can do it too. Timestamps are in the description, and next week I'll be dropping part 2, which will cover offers, product pages, print-on-demand integrations, and how to start driving traffic to your shop. So make sure you have notifications on for that. Or go ahead and drop store in the comments of this video if you want me to personally tag you in part 2 once it goes live. But in today's video, we are focusing on a couple things. Number 1 is laying the strategic foundation for your site, structuring your website framework before actually building it, and building a high converting homepage that will kind of be like your landing base for all of your offers, your products, and additional business info. If you guys would like to follow along with me today and next week throughout our 2-part website in a weekend series, you can actually sign up for Everbe Store for literally $1 today. Just $1. I'll go ahead and drop that link to sign up in the first line of the description of this video. So go ahead, you can pause this video and open up the link in the description below in another tab. You can have this video up on one screen and your Everbe Store dashboard up on the other, so we can build this thing together. But the first thing I want to make really clear is I don't want you to actually open the website builder up at all yet. Because before you ever touch a template or a menu or a section, you need to get really clear on 2 things. The first thing is who's visiting your website, or better yet, who do you want to visit your website? During this crucial prep phase, you need to find out who they are. What are they currently missing that your brand will help them find? How much money are they even willing to spend on your items? What types of items or offers do they actually even want, and how do they behave online? This means you gotta get serious and ask things like, what keeps your ideal person up at night? What type of product photos make them want to click? Are they more interested in lifestyle mock-up kind of shots, or more product focused kind of photos? Do they skim websites and product descriptions usually, or do they read deeply and expect your page to deliver the content through either of those types? Are they scrolling from a phone or shopping from a desktop? If you do not know these answers, your site will not convert. So really, there's no reason to even open your Everbe Store dashboard with me today and start building. I don't mean to give you guys too much tough love, but I do love you guys too much, and I want the best for your business, which means we have to build a strong foundation first. So to help you guys get to the bottom of these questions for your own business, I actually built a free ideal customer avatar worksheet for you, and it's linked below in the description as well. This exercise could take just 10 to 15 minutes to knock out, especially if you already know your people kind of well, and you just need to deepen your understanding of them. But this prep exercise could also take hours in itself if you have never thought about your ideal customer nor built an ideal customer avatar for your business before. But this worksheet will guide you easily through the questions you will need to get to the bottom of it, so we can easily build your store together faster. So if you don't know who you're selling to and why they should care about what you have to offer, your website will be a waste of time and money. So since I know this to be a fact, I have already pre-constructed the exact checklist of questions you need to go through to guarantee a strong foundation early on. Again, it's free, and I will have it as the second link in the description below. The second thing we want to do up front is to determine what we want our brand identity to be. Especially if you're someone who's relied on a marketplace like Etsy for so long, you might not have a strong brand identity yet. But that's okay, because we're going to build it together. But the first thing you need to know about this section is your brand identity is not just your logo. It is a combination of your colors, your typography, your tone of voice, your photography style, your mission, your vision, your values, and what kind of vibe your site gives off within the first 10 seconds of someone viewing it. For example, a bold, edgy candle shop is going to sound and look completely different from a spiritual wellness-based candle shop. Both are great, but they need to be built intentionally with their ideal end customer avatar in mind. So before I even opened my Everbe store dashboard, I gathered all of my essentials like my logo, my branding color hex codes, photos from past brand shoots, and a clear decision on how I wanted people to feel when they landed on every single one of my pages. And if you're someone who struggles with writing copy or feeling confident in how you explain what you do and what you offer, I highly recommend reading Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. I'll link it below. It's one of my favorites. I read it every year. But also, I want to spotlight the AI foundation of Everbe Store called Everbe Brain as well, because this is also going to be a huge help to you guys. When you're first building your store, you have the option of 1, letting AI build the foundation of your website, 2, importing all of your Etsy shop information over with a few clicks, or 3, bringing over everything from a currently built Shopify, Wix, WordPress, etc. store. I personally chose the AI builder option, but if you want to import everything over from your Etsy shop, I actually have another video that is a full Everbe store tutorial that goes over this. You can check that one out next. I'll link it below and also above my head. If, like me, however, you did choose the option to start building using AI, this is where the foundation that we built together in the beginning of this video is going to come in super handy, because now you're going to basically import all of that information about your customer, what you sell, and about your brand identity into the AI prompt space. And it's going to curate a custom built website for you in a matter of minutes, built completely around what you told it to. So once you're done with that, the next thing you're going to want to do is immediately start laying the groundwork for your site. The first thing I did was ask myself, what pages does my business need to promote my offers, build a loyal community, and attract new potential buyers? So here's the structure that I personally came up with regarding the main pages that I wanted to build out. I wanted a home, I wanted an about, I wanted a learn space, which is basically where my 4 core offers were going to be housed, and I also wanted a store space, which is going to be for my print-on-demand physical products. Lastly, of course, I needed somewhere that they could reach out to me if they needed to, so I built a contact page as well. I also decided to build hidden pages for each individual offer, freebie, or campaign. So you're not going to see that necessarily on the website or in the menu, but you are going to be able to get to it through a couple of different buttons I have. Now, you might not need all of these today, but planning ahead means your site can grow with you. But even after Everbe Brain built out the foundational elements to my website, it still wasn't time to jump straight into design, because you don't really know what you're designing for yet. Based on our customers, based on our offers, based on our products, and based on the goals of the pages we have decided upon, we need to build out what each of these could look like with purpose before we start clicking on buttons. So first, I recommend you guys building out what's called a wireframe for your home page. We're going to do this for every other page as well, but just the home page now. This is going to be based on what your visitors need to see and receive first. A wireframe, by the way, if you're not familiar with that word, is just a quick drawn out vision of the flow of your page. What goes at the top? Where will you add in CTA buttons? Do you want to spotlight a product or collection of products near the top or more near the middle? In order to determine how you want to build out your wireframe for your homepage, think about things like, what would help someone trust you right away? What free value can you offer before asking for a sale? And maybe like, what's the one most important thing you want them to do on this page? Also, what links do you want to spotlight in your menu? So like, if we have 20 pages we're making, we only want to spotlight 5, what are those? I highly recommend, if you have not thought of this yet, finding competitors in your space who have great website examples and studying them for the first hour or so. For example, I have 3 creators who I want to be like within the next 3 years. So I studied how they built their pages out, how many pages they had in total, what types of CTAs they used, and how often. Then the best part is you can hop right into Charles, aka my favorite coworker, ChatGPT, give him your page ideas, examples of your competitors' homepages, who your customer is, and what brand identity you are trying to convey. And then literally ask him to build out a visual wireframe of the homepage of your website for you. Here's exactly what he built for me. So now that we have a good foundation for how this website is going to be built out before we ever touched a section of it, it's go time. You are now ready to start building your homepage. So in Everbe Store, you can literally just go to the homepage. It's very simple. Depending on if you did it from Etsy, you did it from Shopify, you did it from AI, does not matter. It's the exact concept. And when you're in there, I'm going to start with the header, which actually hosts your menu and cart features. This is something that is going to show up consistently on every single page, so you want to make sure it's branded. All you got to do is click on the this section within your website builder. And then you can change, add, or subtract any menu items you want or don't want. Add your logo, choose what color you want it to be, and whether you want it to be fixed to the page so it scrolls when you scroll, or default it so it stays at the top while you scroll. Next, I recommend adding what's called a hero section, which is basically the beginning element of your actual homepage. To give you guys some inspiration, here's exactly how I built mine out. I started with a hero section above the fold, which basically means the first things you see before you start to scroll. Instead of making this first section about me and my business, however, I made it about them, my ideal customer avatar. Hopefully you guys can see why we did all of this stuff at the beginning before ever touching the website now. I chose a bold title that says, "Build a business that loves you back, boo," because you know that's how I talk. And then a description saying, "I empower multi-passionate women to monetize their creativity with digital offers, content strategy, and a whole lot of personality." So even though I am talking about me by saying what I do, it's also directly calling out and qualifying my ideal buyer. Below that, I decided to add 2 CTA buttons. One that leads them to my YouTube channel full of content built directly for my ideal buyers, and one that redirects them to my offer page. That way, whether they're ready to buy or if they're just exploring, they get value immediately. So let's put this into perspective for you guys. Let's say you are a handmade candle seller, like this seller. Your hero section above the fold could look like this one, spotlighting the name of the company with an awesome high quality video or photo in the background, and a quick one-liner speaking directly to your ideal buyers. If you're a print-on-demand seller, your hero section could look like our Everbe swag site, a simple photo collage showing the products with a title saying, "You're a creator, wear it with pride." Next up on the homepage, you're gonna want them to take some sort of action that makes sense for them. On my website, for example, what makes the most sense for my peeps immediately is to give them a freebie, or in this case, 3 freebies, because I like to over-deliver. This is an intentional effort on my part, because the purpose of my homepage, because again, we already pre-built that, remember, is to be a home base that can direct out to all of the other pieces of my site. But it's also a place to establish some credibility and trust in my brand, for them to decide if I am the best fit to solve their problems. Plus, it gives them an immediate instant gratification right when they get to my site. Rather than having to go through a bunch of stuff about me and what I offer and my products, they get something out of visiting the site immediately. Going back to our handmade candle seller from earlier, you could place a few examples of best-selling products in this space, or you can add an about section like Bailey did on her digital products website. Next up, I personally wanted to introduce myself right when the first scroll happens, but again, in a way that focuses on how to best help my ideal end buyer. With this mini about section, I also added 2 CTAs just like above, one taking them to my about page to learn more, and the other directing to my core offers page yet again, because this was my main action I wanted them to take while on the homepage, so it should be readily available in a few places. To establish a little bit more credibility, I also added in a small key metrics element using the multi-column section layout 2 in your Everbe website builder. If you guys want to make a section like this, even if you're brand new, you can use stuff like 100 5-star reviews on Etsy, sold in 12 plus countries, 200 happy candle lovers, or whatever is true for your brand. Next, I personally wanted to spotlight my most recent YouTube video upload. This was my second goal with the homepage, to gain more traffic to my channel while also continuing to build that credibility with tons of free long-form trainings built specifically for my ideal avatar. I'll personally swap this out with ease in Everbe store once or twice a week to spotlight the newest video. If you guys want to do something like this, you can either add a link to the video in the section where a photo would go, or you can upload a video you made. Next up, I wanted to spotlight my 4 core offers. So you will see I chose again a multi-column section, this time layout 4. And I added a small photo, a short title, and a short description with buttons that would lead out to those individual offers. Here for POD sellers, for example, you could add in your 4 best sellers with a featured products section, or maybe spotlight 4 different types of products that you have, so it's easier for buyers to sort through them, like hats, tumblers, apparel, and outdoors. Then I wanted to make sure I also had an email opt-in on the page. Pop-up forms are in the works for Everbe store, so you'll be able to have these appear earlier in the visitor's viewing time soon. And finally, I created a clean footer that would be shown on all of my pages with my most important pages I wanted them to access easily, a few ways to access my YouTube channel again, and branded icons and branded colors for consistent design across each page. It's super simple to build out your footer, just like we built out our header in the beginning. Simply click on the section, change the colors if you want, add your logo, and add the menu items you want spotlighted here. Again, if you guys want a full walkthrough on how to build this out, don't forget to check out our full Everbe store tutorial video in the description or right above my head. Alright guys, let's pause here. In this first website in a weekend video, we built the foundation for your brand site. We got crystal clear on your customer and voice. We planned out your pages and website framework. We also built your header and footer for all pages and a powerful homepage with clear goals and CTAs. So now that you've watched this entire overview, your job this week is to download the free customer avatar worksheet and complete it for your ideal website visitors. Again, it's linked in the description. I also want you to either import your Etsy shop over to Everbe Store or use Everbe Brain to build a custom site from scratch using AI. I then want you to create your custom homepage wireframe, basically how you want your homepage to look flow-wise from top to bottom. And feel free to use any of the examples I showed you today as inspiration. I also want you to build out your homepage section by section using the strategies we talked about today. I'm also going to go ahead and link my exact website in the description below because I do not gatekeep anything from you guys. So you're going to be able to walk step by step through every page of my website today to prep us for next week. In part 2 of this website in a weekend series, I'm going to be walking you guys next week through building your about page and offer pages, structuring any freebies and paid products you want to offer, connecting Printify to your store if you are a POD seller already or are interested in becoming one. We're also going to create product collections to organize your offers better, and I'm going to show you how to actually drive traffic to your new site. So if you want to be tagged in part 2 when it goes live, don't forget to comment store below and I'm going to personally tag you in it. But between now and then, you can also take a look at the Everbe Store tutorial I created for you guys right here. And don't forget to grab Everbe Store for just $1 in the description.